Hi guys, Alec Pierce at The Ranch, working on another little project. I've always got projects. If I don't have projects to work on, my wife does. Anyway, but this is kind of a fun one, you know, because I'm familiar with this particular product. It's an extremely popular product. There were thousands and thousands of these Sentry Value Guard safes made and sold all over the world, but certainly North America, and everybody has one. And they're just a perfect little safe for keeping your documents safe. I use mine for my handguns. It's just a perfect little safe. But unfortunately, they're getting old. They've been made for many, many years. And a very, very common problem with these safes is that people lose the combination and they have to get into them. But if you can find a decent one in good shape, it costs nothing to restore it, to make it like new. And it works like new, it looks like new. So what the heck, you know, I'm going to show you how to do that very quickly. So this is what it looks like. I'm going to take these parts off of here, and we're going to go back to the very beginning, and I'll explain all about this fantastic little Sentry Guard. What's it called? Sentry Value Guard, 1300 safe. And there are hundreds of them around. There's the door. I'm going to take it all apart, set that down here. But I want to go over, Diana, just shut that off and come with me. I'm going to show these folks how I got into our safe. So here's what the safe looks like. This is really rough now. I haven't cleaned this at all yet. I wanted to be sure that I could restore the door and the tumbling mechanism first before I wasted time on this. But it's good, so I'm going to clean it up. And here's what it looks like. Pretty simple device. This has a shelf in it. Most of them do. 2 holes here, slot there. 2 holes for the door that sits on there. One, I got this actually from my brother Jim. I've been sitting outside for, who knows, 10 years in the rain, the snow, and everything else. And it was pretty rusty, but it was inside. It was in good shape. So first thing I had to do, he had no idea what the combination was. I had no idea what the combination was. There's no secret to these. So I took a look around in this, and I was prepared to do what I had to do. I didn't want to destroy it. And on the back of this one, unlike the one I have in the house, there's this thin metal plate on the back of it. And so I played with it a little wee bit, and I find that this thin metal plate just slides into place over there. I'm not going to explain it to you, but it just slides in and covers up a hole. So I was able to pry that out of there quite easily. It just slides out. And there's a hole there. You see, there's about a 4-inch hole. And I had to dig out a bunch of this white junk in here. It's a whole bunch of white. It's like cement. I'll get a close-up of that in just a minute. And it's like cement a little bit. Actually, what it is kind of a fire-resistant stone. I wouldn't call it fire brick as you would use in a wood stove, but it's a very similar product. The difference is that this stuff you pour in, kind of like wet cement. And that's why the hole is there. So when the safe is all assembled, this plate is missing on the back, and it's a solid in there. There's no hole through. And so when you're all finished, they pour the cement in and fill the whole thing all the way around with about, I'm going to guess, 1.25 inches, 1.5 inches of this fire brick, fire cement, fire stone, whatever it is. Fills the whole thing up all the way around, and then they put this cap on the back, and they're done. There's no hole into the safe. I made that hole you see in there, I made that. I just took a hole saw and just drilled it. Now you can see this is very thin too. A little thin piece of metal. And many people are saying, well, that's not a safe. That's no good. That's not going to stop a burglar from getting. It's not designed. These are not safes. They're called safes, but they're not safes. They're fire safes. That's what they are. So this particular one is a Class C, which means it'll withstand fire up to 70, whatever it is, you have to look it up, but that means that Class C, D, E, F, and so on. Class C will withstand 1,700 degrees for 6 hours, something like that, which means that if you have paper documents inside this safe and it's closed up and it's in a fire for 6 hours at 1,700 degrees, when the fire's out, you're going to open everything will be safe in there. Now, I don't know how long it has to go, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 hours, and how much the degree has to change and so on, but that gives you the idea. You see, it's a fire safe designed to protect documents or guns or whatever it is you're trying to protect. That's important to your family. So what I did, since I know how the mechanism on the door works, the locking mechanism, I pulled this plate off. I was surprised to see that. I don't have that in mine in the house. I'm not sure how they filled mine. I took a metal saw, drilled a hole, then I just reached in with my hand up to the front. I'm going to show you in a minute, and I was able to turn the dials and open the door from the inside. Not just about that simple. But however, that's what it's all about, and it's important that you understand this is a fire safe. It's not a bank safe. Okay, so you've got $2 million worth of cash or instruments of some sort that you want to protect from a burglar. No, don't put them in here. Short-term protection like that for jewelry and a few things, yeah. Okay, let's go back to the bench. I'm going to show you the rest of this neat little device. Okay, so here I am back at the safe cracker desk. Anyway, so this is what, when I opened up the back, I showed you there, I took the panel off the back, and I shone a light inside, and what I saw was this. This is what it looked like. That's what I saw. A little metal sheet screw there. Now mine, again, mine in the house is different. Mine has a cover on this, but it's not like this. So anyway, I reached in, undid the metal screw, took this little cover off, and inside underneath there was all the mechanism. I'm about to show you how to clean and adjust to how it works and how to reset the combination. So when you get your door off, if you decide, hey, I want to fix mine up, you just take it apart. It's not complicated at all. That's just very, very simple. I made the tools. Here are the tools. You're going to need a small hammer, maybe. You're going to need a small punch. It looks like about more than a quarter, so 5/16 punch, like so. You're going to need a socket wrench, and this is 13 mil for some odd reason. It's an odd one, but 13 millimeter socket. You need a pair of snap ring pliers, and you need a Phillips driver, probably a number 2 Phillips. That's it. They're not complicated at all. Now, when you get it open, you'll notice that there's a handle. We're going to deal with this one part of the time. There's a latch to open and close the safe. And the latch, and this is what it looks like on the outside. On the inside, it's the simplest thing in the world. Let me set this down here like here, Diana, and you see if you can't get in here, and I'll explain how it works. Because the door sits on 2 pins. At the back there are 2 big, strong steel pins to hold it in place. The pins just lift out. So you might say, that's kind of dumb, the pins just lift out. Yeah, but you can't take the pins out unless the door's open. So you have to open the door, swing it open, and take the pins out. So there's a presumption that if you're taking the pins out, you have the combination, and whatever. So that's all there is to that. And then this latch that sits in there, it closes the other side. So there's hinges over there, and this latch fits on like so. Just like so. Easiest thing in the world. Yeah, just like so. Okay, and it slides back and forth. Locked, unlocked. Locked, unlocked. And that particular action is governed by this little device here. Goes onto the handle and sits like so. Let me just turn that like that. So now, if you watch, you can see that open, closed, open, closed. No big deal, right? And there's a couple of little nuts and bolts and plastic washers on there to hold all this together. That is the latch mechanism that opens and closes it. Nothing to do with the combination, with locking the safe. So how does the combination work? Well, that's even simpler. Here's your dial with your numbers from 1 to 100, 1 to 99 anyway. And that dial obviously goes up through this other hole. And I'll find it in a minute. There it is. It goes up in here like that. Okay? Now, how simple is this? So, you notice on this latch, it slides back and forth. So you had to open and close it. You'll notice this piece goes into the wall of the main safe to lock it. It's held by 2 big pins here, and this very heavy steel slider that goes into the wall. So it's quite safe. The door's not going to open easily. So you see this slides back and forth. Pretty simple. Now you notice that the other end, this end of the latch, we're going to call this the latch, as opposed to the lock. At this end, you see that? You see this right here? Can you see that? A fairly tall piece sticking up? Okay, well that's how it locks. So let's start from the very bottom. There is, on here, there's a spring and a few other things, but the essentials are devices like this. That sits right there. I better put the spring on, I guess. Can't demonstrate without the spring, so I'll put that on like that. Okay, just that easy. It's got a hole, it's got a slot in the side, and a couple funny little teeth sticking up there, no big deal. Set that on there like that. Now, let me just explain how easy this is. If you have set the first number of your combination, 3-number combination, if you set the first number of the combination to the right number, to the correct number, then you can then turn the latch. Now watch right here, you see what's happening today? You can turn the latch, because when you go to open it, right, that slides in there. But if you don't have it set to the right number, it's just that you can't get the latch to open. That's how simple as this. This is not a tumbler mechanism. It's, I don't know what to call this mechanism. I don't know what a safecracker would call it. They'd probably call it pretty stupid. But anyway, but it does work. Now there happens that there's another one. There's a big plastic washer that goes in there on top of that. And there's another one of those. You see, it's almost exactly the same. That sits in there too. Okay? That's your second number. So once again, if the first and second number from your combination are set correctly, then these holes, these slots are lined up and the latch goes in, safe opens. If either one of them is not, let's say your second number is not set properly, won't open. It's just that easy. Now to make this whole thing work, they have to have some way of keying these 3 dials together. Yes, there are 3. This is the top one. And the top one, these fasten on separately and they're mounted separately. This one is the only one that's actually attached to the dial. Let me explain what I mean by that. If I spin the dial on the other side, these don't turn. They don't turn. So how the heck do you get them to set? Well, that's even it's slicker, actually. Very simple. This one fits on the square portion of the dial at the very top. So now when I spin the dial, you see, that third one turns. Not the first or the second, just the third. How you set it? Well, it's kind of neat. In that third one, the top one, the one that turns, there's another little piece like this with a tongue on it, with a tooth on it. Let's call it a tooth. And that tooth sits in there like so and drops down through a slot, and that's all held together with a good sized nut. Now what happens is, as you turn the dial, that third one, the last one, turns with the dial. When the door closes, these 2 hard pins here go into that wall. This door closes tight on this side, and then you flip the latch up, and this latch comes out and latches into this wall. So it's held 2 steel pins there, and this large steel thing here holds it tightly into the wall of the safe. Okay? And now, you can see that at the moment, you can zoom in right here, Dana. You can see right here what happens. I'll just quickly show you that lever action. Open. See? Closed. Okay. Now, of course, the crucial part is that for it to be open, these 3 notches have to line up. It's that simple. If you turn the dial, it don't line up. So it won't open. It's really just that simple. So now the only thing to do is to once you get it all back together, don't make the mistake that I've made, and others I'm quite sure as well, and close it without making sure you know the combination. And to do that, really, while it's open like this, is really pretty simple. Turn the bottom plate. Oh, I'll show you here. Turn it around 2 or 3 times to the left to get the whole thing mixed up and started. And then turn it around until the bottom plate, can you see in there, Diana? I don't know if you can see in there, but you see in there, can you see right there? The bottom slot, and this bottom dial is now lined up with the hole. Okay? There we go. And now you turn it back the other way, and it catches that second plate, and turn that around until its slot lines up. So now you see the 2 of them lined up. And then you turn the dial back for the third number right there. And when all 3 are lined up, it'll open. Just that easy. So all you have to do is write down those 3 numbers. Okay, that's great. Now, if somebody's asked if you want to change the combination, what do you do? Well, it's really very simple, because this little pin right here little lever right here that goes and sticks down, and that's the one that catches the 2 dials below it. You just take this nut off, raise that little piece, spin it around a little bit, put it in whatever hole you want. Put the bolt back on. You just change the combination. Okay, don't close the door until you try it. Make sure. I've done it 4 or 5 or 6 times now, so I know that I have the combination down pat, and it's not going to get locked on me again. Okay, here we are back at the safe, and I put the pins into the hinges and set the door on. That's about as simple as it can get. And the safe is empty right now. We'll close the door. Let's see what happens. Close the door. Now that latch in there must be a bit of a ramp fit, because it's tight now. There's no give to that door at all. And it's perfect. Look at it. Just looks like new. Got the wheels work perfectly, lubricated. Everything looks nice. Pins, everything is solid as the devil. And the latches. Oh, I can't open right now because I just turned the dial. It all works perfectly. Let's see if it works now. So in order to open it, I got to go left a couple of times, and ending at the first number, which is that one right there, and then right past that number to the second number, which is that one right there, and then left again back to the... What do you think, guys? This one has a shelf too. Ours doesn't have a shelf, does it, in the house? Hey, pretty good. There should be a little cleanup in there, but there you go. So there's the latch. That locks tightly into there, and your 2 big pins lock tightly into there. And when this is closed, you can't get it open. And this can be bolted or unwheeled, whatever you want to do. Nice old safe anyway. There you go. Just about that simple. Take care. Hope it's useful for you, and I'll see you again, Alec Pierce, at the ranch. Bye-bye.